Hi, I'm Anthony F. Elmore in downtown Memphis on the mighty Mississippi River, bringing you another hot and fiery Black Memphis history lesson. This video is titled Tennessee Black Caucus Representative Hardaway, Black on Black Racism. When we study history, it was Tennessee's U.S. President Andrew Jackson who founded the Democratic Party. It was also Andrew Jackson, along with James Winchester and John Overton, who founded Memphis May 22, 1819. I am Anthony F. Elmore. I live in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm best known in Memphis as the 5-time world kickboxing champion. Unknown and untold in Memphis, or Tennessee, I am the father of independent theatrical filmmaking in Memphis, and I'm also the first, if not the first, independent theatrical filmmaker in the state of Tennessee. Clearly, I am the first Black independent 35mm theatrical filmmaker in the state of Tennessee. Per this video, I'm fighting not only white on black racism, I am fighting black on black racism from your friend and colleagues, Representative G.A. Hardaway. I would like you legislators, citizens of Memphis, to turn your attention to a July 18, 2019 article in the Mid-South Flyer by Chris McCord. This article should raise eyebrows about our elected Representative G.A. Hardaway, who has represented District 93 since 2013. District 93 included my community in Memphis called Orange Mound. For those of you who do not know Orange Mound is the first planned black community in America built for blacks by blacks, whose history can be traced to 2 black churches that started in 1879. In 2016, First Lady Michelle Obama named Orange Mound a preserved American community. Today, Orange Mound is an African American community plagued by white supremacy, racism, and black on black racism. The father of African American history, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, wrote, "Those who have no record of what their forebears have accomplished lose the inspiration which comes from the teachings of biography and history." If you want to know the character of an individual, a group, a church, a school, or a community, or a city, or a state, the greatest indicator is how one treats their history. The way we honor and preserve history speaks volumes about our values, priorities, whether it's an individual community or an entire city. Their commitment to preserving and sharing their history reflects on their respect for the past and their vision for the future. By celebrating our heritage, we not only honor those who came before us, we inspire future generations. Now, in the July 18, 2019 article in the Mid-South Flyer by Chris McCord, the story reads, quote, "By late February, Sittler, who was shelling back and forth between meetings in Memphis and Nashville, she found an early ally in the Black Caucus led by Representative J. Hardaway and State Senator Ramash Akbari, who voted to make an $18 million incentive grant appropriation their top priority. She says, quote, "I give credit to my board chairman, Gail Carson, who knows all of the members of the Black Caucus, and they all trust her greatly," Sittler says, unquote. You see, again, this article states G.A. Hardaway and State Senator Ramash Akbari voted to make an $18 million incentive grant appropriation their top priority. This is in 2019. Now, what is troubling is why would 2 black elected Shelby County legislators make it their top priority to give a white producers to tell the story of white civil rights attorneys in Memphis, whereas the story of actual black civil rights attorneys have never been told. I would like to share with you the story that happened in 1964. You see, in November 1964, Archie Walter Willis Jr. or A.W. Willis was elected to the Tennessee General Assembly when he took his seat January 1965. He became the first African American to serve in the Tennessee House of Representatives since Reconstruction. You see, in 1961, when James Meredith applied for admission at Ole Miss, he was represented by your former colleague A.W. Willis. You see, Representative J. Hardaway and Senator Amash Arkberry traded black capital to get millions of state dollars for the failed Bluff City law. Let's move to black-on-black racism of J. Hardaway, and Amash Arkberry is credited with getting money for the Memphis Shelby County Film Commissioner Lynn Sittler. See, if you want to look at an online historical fact, do an online search of 3 words. The first word is the contemporary gladiator. What comes up first is the IMDb, or the Internet Movie Database, which shows that the film released date was August 26, 1988. Now, do an online search of 2 words, Mystery Train. You see, the IMDb, or Internet Movie Database, film release of this movie is dated November 17th, 1989, a year after Elmore's movie. You see, in 2007, the Memphis Shelby County Film Commission and the Shelby County Historical Commission installed a historical marker at G.E. Patterson and Main Street that erroneously names the white film Mystery Train as the first independent theatrical film, an act that robs Orange Mound of his historical legacy as the first independent theatrical film in Memphis film history. You see, in 2019, when Representative Hardaway got Lynn Sittler millions for the failed NBC Bluff City law, this corporate welfare, she failed to not only come to Orange Mound and do a news conference to support black films and black filmmakers in Orange Mound, she used her office and function as the Film Commission to deny Elmore the filming of the movie Rock and Roll, A Black Legacy in Orange Mound. Lynn Sittler used racism and white supremacy to stop black filmmaking, whereas it was G.A. Hardaway and Amash Arkberry who stood up and supported this white woman to do her white supremacy and racism, and J. Hardaway is practicing black-on-black racism. You see, concurrent to J. Hardaway's getting Lynn Sittler millions for the failed NBC Bluff City law, black filmmaker Tyler Perry opened a multi-billion-dollar black film studio in Atlanta. You see, Elmore's 1988 Memphis film, The Contemporary Gladiator, is the first kickboxing film in world film history. You see, Elmore notes that little black children in black America have a right to know that the first kickboxing film made in American film history was made in the historic black community of Orange Mound, whereas Tennessee State Representative, who has been elected for over a decade, is practicing black-on-black racism, whereas Representative Hardaway refused to come to Orange Mound and acknowledge that the first independent film in Memphis film history is a black film that was made in the historic community of Orange Mound. You see, in 1988, when Elmore's film The Contemporary Gladiator premiered, Democratic Governor Ned McWhorter recognized the film's historical achievement via sending an honorary certificate. You see, in 1990, Elmore's film, The Contemporary Gladiator, premiered in Nairobi, Kenya, whereas in 1992, Kenyan President, the late Daniel Arap Moore, named Elmore an African ambassador. Elmore has maintained diplomatic relationships with Kenya. Let's listen to Congressman Steve Cohen.
It's summertime in Memphis. It's July, and that's why we're here in AMP Elmore. AMP has done so much to try to help promote Memphis and international trade with Africa, with Kenya in particular. We've worked with him and will continue to work with him with ambassadors and embassies in Washington, trying to promote trade. It's a logical thing to do, and it's imperative that we have Memphis in the forefront to try to take this as an opportunity to promote Memphis and Africa, and that's what AMP's been doing. So I have a proclamation for AMP, which basically states that AMP has been a leader in our community and a leader in the country in trying to promote trade with Africa. Besides his great history as a world karate and kickboxing champion, he's worked hard in Memphis to build economic and cultural ties between Memphis and Africa. And on behalf of the 9th Congressional District, I present this U.S. House of Representatives proclamation to Anthony Amp Elmore, the champion.
In 2019, because of Elmore's relationship with Kenya, African diplomats headed by Kisumu Governor Anyang' Nyong'o came to Memphis at Elmore's invitation, whereas Tennessee State Representative Joe Town assisted the dignitaries who were snubbed by Black Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris, attended the 9th African Summits placed in Kisumu, Kenya. It was from May 17th to May 21st, 2022 in Kisumu, Kenya, whereas Tennessee State Representative G.A. Hardaway attended the event in Kenya, whereas he failed to connect Kisumu, Kenya with Memphis, where Lynn Sittler, whom G.A. Hardaway assisted, used her office to obscure Elmore's filming in Memphis. You see, Elmore has been trying to arrange a trade deal since meeting with Kenyan President Daniel Arap Moore in 1992. You see, on May 23, 2024, Kenyan President Dr. William Ruto was at the White House invited by President Biden. You see, we are engaged in culture diplomacy, whereas we're shooting scenes in our upcoming movie, Rock and Roll, A Black Legacy, whereas Tennessee State Representative J. Hardaway and State Senator Ross Agway voted to make an $18 million incentive grant appropriation their top priority. It is in Memphis, Tennessee, where Elmore is facing white supremacy, racism, and black-on-black racism. You see, it is clearly outright racism, whereas G.A. Hardaway will not acknowledge Elmore's efforts in Orange Mound, whereas Memphis, the most populated black city in America, does not have a chronicled black Memphis history, whereas Anthony F. Elmore is the first in Memphis history to chronicle black Memphis history. Elmore created the website blackmemphishistory.com, a website with a menu of hundreds of short and long films featuring black Memphis history. You see, Tennessee State G.A. Hardaway showed outright black-on-black racism, whereas Elmore wants to partner with the Tennessee Educational Association, institutions, museums, and people to tell black Memphis history. Black Memphis history is available to Tennessee educational entities, museums, schools, churches, to be told who are looking for education, entertainment, who want to know black Memphis history. See, Elmore is the first curator in black Memphis history, whereas the racism comes not from white people. The story lands in the practice and pattern of Tennessee State Representative J. Hardaway, who refused to acknowledge, represents the District 93, who refused to acknowledge the historical and scholarly work of Elmore. You see, Representative Hardaway practiced black-on-black racism, whereas J. Hardaway and State Senator Ramash Ogbury voted to make an $18 million incentive grant appropriation their top priority for the white film and white filmmakers, whereas J. Hardaway refused to acknowledge the education on the historical black film and filmmaker Anthony F. Elmore in the black community of Orange Mound in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm Anthony F. Elmore in downtown Memphis on the mighty Mississippi River, bringing you another hot and fiery Black Memphis history lesson.